Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the Fresh and Easy third and carol opening. I'm delighted that you could all come and join us. Thank you for being here. There is some fantastic displays of green clothing in this building. I've seen the most wonderful pair of green shoes. And Melissa has got green earrings, green baubles, green fingernails, everything to show the green spirit of Fresh and Easy. So well done, Melissa. Look at those, they're magnificent. And the reason that we all like to wear green and the reason that we're so proud of green is because we like to be the change that we want to be. So welcome for coming. Mayor Lee, thank you so much for coming. We're delighted that you're here. I'm going to introduce most of our distinguished guests. I certainly won't have got everybody, so I'm going to apologize in advance. And then a number of them I'm going to say a few words to you in a bit, but I'm going to make some introductory comments first, just so we're clear what's going on. I'd like to welcome the City Attorney, Dennis Herrera. I'd like to welcome Herb Schultz, the Region 9 Director. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the Fresh and Easy third and carol opening. I'm delighted that you could all come and join us. Thank you for being here. There is some fantastic displays of green clothing in this building. I've seen the most wonderful pair of green shoes. And Melissa has got green earrings, green baubles, green fingernails, everything to show the green spirit of Fresh and Easy. So well done, Melissa. Look at those, they're magnificent. And the reason that we all like to wear green and the reason that we're so proud of green is because we like to be the change that we want to be. So welcome for coming. Mayor Lee, thank you so much for coming. We're delighted that you're here. I'm going to introduce most of our distinguished guests. I certainly won't have got everybody, so I'm going to apologize in advance. And then a number of them I'm going to say a few words to you in a bit, but I'm going to make some introductory comments first, just so we're clear what's going on. I'd like to welcome the City Attorney, Dennis Herrera. I'd like to welcome Herb Schultz, the Region 9 Director of Health and Human Services. I'd like to welcome former Supervisor Sophie Maxwell. She and I did the original groundbreaking together. She says she remembers something odd about me, but she can't remember what it was, which is probably just as well. I'd like to welcome Angelo King, the Chair of the Bayview Project Area Committee. I think we were a bit slow off the mark in our applause, so let's please have a round of applause for the Mayor, the City Attorney, and Herb Schultz. I never thought I'd have to do this. Where is he? I'd like to welcome Matt Alexander, our broker, and thank him, and Board President. I'm here. I'm on it. I'd like to welcome the President of the Board, David Chu. I'd like to welcome Amelia Cohen, the District Supervisor. She's not here, but her staff are here. She has been a great support, and I'd like to thank her for District Supervisor 10. I'd like to welcome Emily Moraes, a School Board member. I'd like to welcome the Reverend Arnold Townsend and the Reverend Aurelius Walker. I hope I've got your name right, Mr. Reverend. And I'd like to welcome Michael Janus from the Southeast Food Access Group. Anyhow, what I'd really like to do, it's an awful long time since I went into Mayor Newsom's office and we agreed to do this project. I'd like to thank the Mayor's office for their consistency and their steadfastness, and I would like to thank in particular Amy Cohen and Roberto Munoz for their huge efforts. Where is Amy? Amy said that Roberto didn't have a grey hair when we started this project. I'm delighted that we're doing this today. It's an amazing event. It's an absolute privilege of what I do to be able to do things like this with happy people who feel that they're making a difference. Supervisor Maxwell was so positive and so charming when we started out, and I'm delighted that we made it.
She's still trying.
That is certainly true. For every store we open, we make a $1,000 donation, and the donation that we're making today will go to Bayview-Hunters Point YMCA, and I met somebody from YMCA earlier. We've opened 177 stores since we started in November 2007, and we've invested over $2 billion, and we've created 4,500 jobs, mainly in California, particularly in our production facilities in Riverside, California, but also in Arizona and Nevada. We've worked very hard to create a thoughtful business and a business that can make differences to communities, a business that sees the sense, both economic and social, in opening in a place like 3rd and Carroll. We've set out to create a modern 21st century business, a business that is great to work in and great to shop in. One of the things that people said to us when we did our original research is food today is too messed around with. Just make it simple, make it, don't put stuff in that I can't read, that I can't pronounce. Ingredients that I can't pronounce. Have a look at the ingredients labels if you've got a moment when you go round. Our mashed potato's got potatoes in it, it's got cream in it, it's got pepper in it, it's got salt in it. Well, nearly every mashed potato you ever eat has got something else in it that you've never heard of. So, have a look as you go around and enjoy, because the food is cleaner. It even tastes cleaner. When you eat fresh and easy food and at the end of it you get that, you think, there's something missing. What is missing is all the additives that coat your mouth. And I promise you there is a difference. Every week we sell 98-cent produce. We sell $1.99 chicken breasts. We have the key fresh food basics that you need to run a family for everyday cooking. They're here in this store. The prices are nailed. The quality is great. We have a kitchen facility. I talked about it at Riverside. You'll see it on the back wall there, where we make sushi, we make pizzas, we make soups, we make entrees. You name it, we make sliders. Those little sliders, you've got to try them. It's just fantastic. Games are going to be different from now on, trust me. There's buffalo wings. I mean, it's just so good. You just want to roll around in it and enjoy it. It gives even a microwave. There we are, fresh to go. So if you live nearby, you work, you want something, you can come in here. You don't have to get fast food. You can get real food. You can pop it in the microwave. No artificial colors, no artificial flavors, no trans fats, no synthetic preservatives, no high fructose corn syrup. We take them away. As I said earlier on, we've tried really hard to make this a great place to work. Trust me, wherever you go, the parking lot, the grocery store, the DIY, the building store, the garden center, whatever it is, if you get bad service, the staff didn't mean to give you bad service. If you get bad service, it's because the boss designed a bad business and the staff can't do what they're supposed to do. And what I've tried to do, and what my team has tried to do with these people, is to design a business that can be delivered day in, day out, without stressing the living hell out of them. And I hope we've been successful in that. I think we have. And, you know, we try and reward them well, we try and pay them well, we give them benefits. I hope you're all taking your benefits, yeah? Hope you are. 70% of our employees do take out health care. I guess about another 15 get it through their family, and 15 are probably young and foolish. We hire from the neighborhood. We had an agreement with the mayor's office. I think somebody said to me, over half the staff in this store come from the zip code. So we're really pleased about it. Even with this many people in one of our stores, which I wish we could have every minute of every day, all facing that way, all with carts full, it is very unusual to feel warm. Do you feel warm? I feel warm. It's very unusual to feel warm. The reason why you feel warm is because of these doors. Normally, the chillers keep you cold. These doors are an environmental initiative to reduce the amount of energy that we use. We're installing them. I actually noticed they're not on that side. Oh, no, they're not supposed to be on that side. Oh, that's good. Whoops. It's an environmental initiative we're introducing into all our stores. The beauty of it is it significantly reduces the energy that we use in our fridges, which is fantastic, and customers like it more. They think the food is fresher, they think the food is colder, so it's great. It's an absolute win-win, and we're always looking out for win-win. I'd just like to take one time out to say to my staff here, the staff from the office, the buying team, we've never opened a better store, guys. It looks fantastic. Thank you. In a minute, we'll launch Shop for Schools. For every $20 you spend, you can get $1. You can donate it to your local school. Make sure everybody knows about it. It's a fantastic thing for the local community. It doesn't solve all the problems, but it does give them a bit of cash for a tablet or some sports clothes or whatever that school needs. I'm now going to welcome the mayor. Right? The reason I hesitated is because I said I would. I'm going to welcome the mayor. I'm going to thank him so much for coming. I'm going to thank the mayor's office yet again. It's a privilege, a real privilege, to be in this magnificent city. And it is a privilege to have been helped in our entry to this city by that great institution, the mayor and the office of the mayor of San Francisco. Thank you, sir. I'd be grateful if you'd say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It is extremely pleasure to be here today. And you know, at the very beginning, how many times have you heard a CEO of a grocery store chain personally open up a store in the neighborhood? You know, we all remember those days where you might have been able to see the actual owner of a neighborhood store be there personally. These days, you might see a corporate representative. You know, when Mayor Newsom and the Office of Economic Development went to every one of those corporations to ask them if they would please consider opening a store on 3rd Street here in the Bayview, they all said no. This guy said yes. And I want to thank Mr. Mason for your vision, for your commitment to this neighborhood, understanding, as Sophie knows so well, and we've had many hours of discussion about things of neglect and uncaring. Well, today, what I feel with this store opening here and with the commitment that has been made, Tim, that I have a feeling is that it's all about health, it's about neighborhood vitality, it's about jobs, and it's about fulfilling old promises in this city. This is what this store represents. And it's such a wonder that we all come together and collaborate in this effort to fulfill a promise to this neighborhood. We are with you every step, and we will continue working along the whole 3rd Street in the Bayview to make sure this neighborhood never feels neglected. You are part of the city, and this grocery store, the full service of it, represents fulfilling that long promise. And I know those years that I was city administrator, and we had a lot of discussions with members of the Board of Supervisors, and I know David Chu is here as well, and we've had discussions here about commitments, and certainly Sophie, on and on about what we haven't done, what we haven't been able to fulfill. We've done it all here, I think, with this grocery store. There's been a history of effort made, and some of the other stores did not want to come here. And Fresh and Easy made that commitment. We went through so much to not only make sure that this promise was fulfilled, but we also had to do a lot of homework about it, because at the beginning, this footprint of the building, the developers, the property owners didn't have the footprint for this. They only had a couple of $5,000 square foot plaids that had to be redone. We had to have the Board of Supervisors consider all of the things that the grocery store had to be able to sell here to make it full service, and that was led by Sophie and recently David Chu and the whole board in recognizing the need for that. There was a whole family of city departments that worked together on one of the most important things, and that was local job creation, something that I've been trying to honor very, very much, particularly for this neighborhood. And so to know that in June of this year, in collaboration with CIFA and the Workforce Development Division of Office of Economic Development, we put together with community partners, Renaissance Parents for Success, YCD, and others, including Hunters Point Family, put together at the Bayview Opera House a hiring day focused on this particular store. Over 250 people came out to put their applications in. And from that pool and that recruitment day, there were 40 people that were hired for this store, 52% of them from 94124. That is a remarkable, remarkable achievement. Thank you. Thank you for that persistence. And then another 8 from San Francisco neighborhoods all across the whole rest of the city, concluding to a total of 72% local hire for Fresh and Easy in the Bayview. That's another remarkable achievement. That is to be celebrated, to be achieved, to be a model for the rest of all that we do in the city, because it can be done. And we know that. And we just had to get a success story out here to make sure it could happen. So fulfilling a promise of jobs, neighborhood vitality, health of our neighborhoods, that's what this store represents. Now, this store is not the only thing that we're going to do, because it is part of a movement that we started years ago with Gavin Newsom's promise, but all of us who've worked in city government, all of us who have educated ourselves with the history of failures in this neighborhood, to say we're going to turn this around and to make a heartfelt commitment that we want to make sure we help do everything we can to turn this around. So this store is leading that effort, and along comes other opportunities, because we are working with the 3rd Street Corridor project. We are working with the Bayview merchants to make sure everything is being done. And this is another example. You'll see this neighborhood promotion brochure at the end of every aisle in this grocery store, so that not only when you shop here for your groceries, you'll be able to find where you get your hair cut, when you get your shoes repaired, where you can get all the other things that this wonderful neighborhood has to offer. That'll be right in this brochure, so that we join them in advertising all of the different services along 3rd Street. And thank you very much for Renaissance for being here today, because they're all part of that effort. It's a whole neighborhood, not just the store. The whole neighborhood is going to be alive. Today's story will be about Fresh and Easy and their opening of this fantastic full-service store. But I'll tell you the news for tomorrow. The news for tomorrow is Limon Rotisserie, next month, opening right down the block. Another sit-in restaurant. And then by the fall By the fall, you'll have Brown Sugar Restaurant, and you'll have Radio Africa and Kitchen Restaurant. They're already underway, and they'll begin to open. That whole 3rd Street corridor that we now are at is going to be enlivened with all these commitments that we've made, support that we've given through the Office of the Mayor and through the Workforce Development Office with and in cooperation with the Board of Supervisors to really rebuild this neighborhood and help with the job creation and help with the businesses that need to thrive along here. And the job development will continue in collaboration with this neighborhood. So I'd say here today that it's just another part of fulfilling a promise, promises that for this neighborhood have been long in coming, but when we do, we need to celebrate this and we need to build on fulfilling promises. That's what we want to do. That's why you have state divisions here like Herb Schultz with the Human Services Division of our state here, our Board of Supervisors here, the mayor here, along with business, to do that and fulfill that collaboration with all the other city agencies working together. Because again, it will always be, it takes really a whole village of effort that goes on in order to rebuild a whole community and fulfill all of the promises. So I'm glad to be here today, glad to celebrate this. I am so thrilled that, Tim, that you have fulfilled a long-lost promise for this neighborhood, and you've done it the right way with hiring local people here so that they can have and build upon hope and have something for their families. And I also want to thank the PD here as well. Paul Signell is here from our Bayview station and here to keep everybody safe and making sure that we have public safety as well as the thriving economy along this 3rd Street corridor. Thank you very much, and let's celebrate this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I find the best thing to do with promises is to be very slow and considered about making them, and then to keep the ones that you do make with a passion. There's an expression I quite like, don't watch my lips, watch my feet. If I make a promise, you'll see me commit to it. Right. And we absolutely want to help you improve the cities of California, and we want to help Herb Schultz, the Regional Director of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, improve the diet of California, and I'd like to hand over to him. Herb.
Thank you. I have followed the mayor and now Tim again, and like that, so thank you. Thank you for the mic. I want to say a couple of things this morning and try and be brief, which sometimes can be a little bit difficult. But first of all, on behalf of the Obama administration, I'm a presidential appointee, and my boss is Secretary Kathleen Sebelius. And she happens to know very much, as we've talked about it recently, that I was going to be here this morning. So on behalf of the Secretary of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, I want to congratulate the Bayview community. I want to congratulate Fresh and Easy and San Francisco, so give yourselves a round of applause. You know, we hear too often the term these days, food desert. 10% of our communities in the United States are considered food deserts. And what does that mean? Well, that means communities like Bayview, who now have ensured, working with Fresh and Easy, that you're a food desert no more, is that there's not access to fresh, nutritious, and affordable food. And so today, what this is all about is eliminating food deserts and putting things through and doing things well. You know, I think that one thing we need to recognize about community is that how many of you are members of the Southeast Food Access Working Group? Look at all these folks. This is what made it happen. Sophie's leadership, David's, the mayor's, everybody's that's here. But you know what? I'm proud to work for an administration, for a president, and a first lady who has made the elimination of childhood obesity a #1 priority, right? . 'Cause And I'm proud to work for a secretary and administration joining this community in not only prioritizing the need for access to fresh fruits and vegetables, but you know what? Enacting healthcare reform that addresses very much the same thing. Let's fight and eliminate healthcare disparities, and let's, number one, fight chronic healthcare conditions and rid them of our communities by getting access to fresh fruits and vegetables. So thank you to all of you who are supportive of healthcare reform. You know, I want to do a personal story for 1 second because I think it sort of brings it all together when you think about, well, what's this discussion about food deserts? What's this discussion about healthcare reform? What's this discussion because it's really grounded in the community? Many of you here will remember, I have to say I'm old enough to remember. I just turned 49. Like, I had to take the breath in. Okay. Well, I can tell you one thing about Fresh and Easy is, you know, Region 9, as an aside, is 50 million people. And I've been as far west as Guam and as far east as Phoenix. That's how big we are. And Fresh and Easy is in Arizona, Nevada, and California. And so when I talk about Fresh and Easy, I want to say I know it because I've been in communities throughout California, Arizona, and Nevada in this region and seen what Fresh and Easy has done in communities like Bayview. But the reason that I wanted to sort of ask you all to think back for a second is, anyone remember Memphis in the late 1960s and the early 1970s? Well, I may have the Philadelphia accent now, but at that point I had a Memphis accent and was a child when Dr. King was brutally assassinated. And I remember going with my mother, who was part of a Jewish organization in our synagogue, and we went into underserved parts of Memphis, Tennessee, and delivered fresh fruits and vegetables. And this was 1968 and 1969. And it's about time in this country, and it's about time that we have leaders like Fresh and Easy, but it's also about time that communities like Bayview and the city, Mr. Mayor, thank you, and David, thank you, and Sophie for your leadership, thank you. It's time that Bayview gets recognized for seizing what we've all known, and that's that communities come together when we do things like this to make sure that it's not just us, but our children and grandchildren can now not have to walk, not have to get on buses, not have to struggle, and not have to starve, but get access to fresh fruits and vegetables. So I want to say congratulations to all of you. I hope you will think ahead in the future, as I think all of us are doing, but I couldn't help this morning but thinking back to being a 6-year-old and a 7-year-old and hoping that one day we would have organizations like this of community and of organizations like Fresh and Easy that all came together to make this all happen. So I'm very, very proud on behalf of Secretary Kathleen Sebelius to be here. Congratulations. This is the second that I've seen in the city. We know it's all spreading, but I think the mayor made a good point. It's called jobs, jobs, jobs. It's called access to fresh fruits, nutritious vegetables. So let's open the store, huh? Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Herb. It would be wrong of us not to allow Sophie Maxwell to say a few words on this great occasion. Sophie.
Thank you. Wow, this is really a great day. It's like having a baby, only it was like since 2007, you know, and now the birthing. And usually, as a lot of us know, within the last 24 hours, that's when it really starts coming. And finally, the baby is here. And so I want to thank all of you proud parents, a lot of community people who are here who really helped to make this happen. And it's not as if Bayview and people in this area have not been fighting for a long time. We just have not been heard. We know about fresh fruits and vegetables. We know what we need. It's just that we were not heard. And so I want to thank the community first, and I want to thank Fresh and Easy for taking and seizing the opportunity. I also want to thank many people in the city's office who really heard us and who did not stop until it happened. And as was mentioned, they had to assemble things and get everything because, you know, having a store for us was not in the mix. which would only make sense if you're building thousands of units of housing, that you would not have a decent store for people to shop in. But you know how it goes. In the Bayview, it's different. So finally, we have come to where we should be, and I think this is a store that's more than fitting for Bayview-Hunters Point. This is the kind of store that we should have. And this should not be the last store. It took 20 years. It's been 20 years since a full-service store has opened in this district. It should not be another 20 years. It should not be another 20 years. And let me also say that what is good for this community is also good for the city. They are not doing us any favors. The favor you are doing is for this city. Everybody should have fresh foods and fruits and vegetables. That's what makes a good city. So for one community not to have it means that your city is not good. This makes San Francisco whole. So I want to thank everybody for all that they've done, and understand that you need to do more. This is just the beginning. We have Lowe's. Everything that has happened in the Bayview has been like a huge drama. I mean, other people have things like, oh, we're opening up a store. With us, it's a huge drama. It should not be that way. We just don't have that kind of energy all the time. But if we need it, we will get it. And again, I want to thank all of you for helping to make this happen, especially Fresh and Easy having to come from over the sea to open up a store in Bayview. Thank you so much for taking the journey.
Thank you very much indeed. Our final speaker is going to be Angelo King, the head of the Bayview Project Area Committee, which works on redevelopment here in the Bayview area. Angelo.
Come on, you two. So I'd like to say, first of all, I'm chair of the Project Area Committee, and we are the advisory committee to the redevelopment process, which basically means that we have people that selflessly give up their time to bore through the details of the development of this community. And in that sense, that makes us an authority in terms of the history of how things have gotten here. We have very talented people on that committee. One of them is Commissioner Richardson right here. We have a former planning commissioner and human rights commissioner that sits on our committee. We have lawyers, we have contractors, and these people live in this community and give up their time to go through the details to get here. We're gonna put a freeway right there to connect so we could connect the stadium. And then we said, well, no, we shouldn't do that. We wanna do something different. But really today, you know, I wanna thank the PAC for guiding the process, but really today, it's about, we have finally got this thing done. Because for all of you that have ever gotten your car and had to go to Trader Joe's, okay? For everybody that ever got in your car, had to go to Andronico's, you know, if they would have placed a store here, they might be in better shape. Even though we have hundreds of millions of dollars of retail leakage, Safeway didn't think we were good enough. And Lucky didn't think we were fortunate enough. And so, and I don't want to, and look, I love Super Save. Nobody cuts up oxtails like them, okay? I am a community official, okay? When I say I'm community, on Saturdays you see me out there with my kids. I coach Pop One. I am official, okay? So I love Sam over there at Super Save, okay? Come on now, that's right. Sam, okay. He getting his act together. He's worked with Michael Janis, and we've worked with him. But let's be honest. If you wanted some healthier snacks or some fresher chicken that didn't have any chemicals pumped into it, did that place exist in Bayview? What? No. And so you had to get in your car and go to that place. We did not have that option, and it didn't make any sense. You know, this is a community of over 40,000 people isolated. We can't go any further east. And yet, we were here. So, now we do have the store. And I want to say something for, you know, the people that are unhappy. And since the president's man is here, one of the things that the president said during his trials and tribulations at Washington that really struck me is that the enemy of the good can't be the perfect, okay? The enemy of the good can't be the perfect. We opened up a store here, and this ain't even good. This is fantastic, okay? And you need not to be ashamed to tell people that. How many times we went and begged Safeway to come here, and they turned their nose up at us. Come on now. You can't be afraid to tell them that. And I want to thank YCD and all the people that have worked on this job situation, because you know what? You guys did a fantastic job again. Oh, go ahead and clap. Because I love walking into a store when my own people serve me. Lowe's, thank you very much. Home Depot couldn't seem to hang in there. And Lowe's came right on in there and picked up all the stuff that Home Depot had made waves to get to, and now they've got a store taking South City's money. And you know, when you go in there, you see people that live in this neighborhood working here. Am I lying? So are we doing the right thing? Are we trying to be our brother's keeper? Wait, are we trying to be our brother's keeper? For those of you that are officials and working on this, you take this seriously, because I live here. And when I go to Sam George's, because I'm a neighborhood guy, and you know that I'm part of the pack, and you say, hey, man, what's up with that? I could look you in your face and say, yeah, it's 50% higher. They had to bring a few people from a couple other stores because they needed some people that knew how the store ran. As we go along, we'll get some more people. We'll create a conduit so every time they got an HR situation, they can just call YCD, a Hunters Point family, and we'll get that memorialized. And last but not least, I want to say that we are doing a fantastic job in terms of economic development. And you know, that's one of them nebulous, ambiguous terms you hear, like improving capacity. It's just like you hear it and you don't know what it means anymore. But when you get the confluence of economic activity that produces a kind of harmony that takes off and synergizes into real capitalism, that's what we're talking about. These small little things that kept happening. And then all of a sudden, you're going to turn around and somebody's going to tell everybody that Bayview's the place to be. But you were here when the tipping point started to tip. You were here to watch it. It's like the day my son jumped up and said he wanted a mohawk, because I was like, what the heck? You want a what? You want a mohawk? Because it had gotten so popular that he had to have one. Or the day you realize your grandmother had a Facebook. Somebody gonna find out late that Bayview's the place to be. But you know what? For those of you who stuck around, we already knew it. Thank you.
I luckily didn't make a promise that he was the last speaker, because Andrea from Supervisor Cohen's office is going to say a few words.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, everyone, for being here this morning. Supervisor Cohen, unfortunately, wasn't able to be here, but she made me promise that I would come here and personally express to you and to the community how excited we are that you are here. We are so thrilled that you're here in Bayview. You're opening. We're going to be here to support you guys and make sure that this is a successful store. And this, as Supervisor Maxwell and the mayor have already said, was decades in the making, and really the result of years of community advocacy to increase access to healthy, nutritious, affordable food for southeastern San Franciscan residents. So thank you. Thank you, Supervisor Maxwell, for your tireless leadership on this issue. We couldn't have done it without you, without the board, without the mayor's office, and we look forward to working with you to make this very successful. So Tim, thank you. On behalf of the board, a certificate that commemorates your opening, and let's open. Hopefully I am the last.
Thank you very much, Andrea. That's very, very It's a fantastic looking certificate. Thank you. It's very, very kind of you, very smart. We're delighted to be here. I'm going to make one final announcement because I'm going to make one or two ladies in this room very happy when I do it. And then we're going to open the store. And the announcement is that we will open our Silver Avenue store in the first quarter of 2012. Come on, Dave, let's sell some groceries. Come and open your shop. Well done, man. Congratulations.